Hello, my name is John Archambault, and I work in the Engineering Career Services Office at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I'm here today to talk to you about communication skills and communicating in a professional environment. In an age of iPhones, iPods, email, texting, blogging, gaming, it seems inevitable that individual communication skills would suffer. The increase in affluence in the U.S. has also allowed us to, as Burger King would say, have it your way, which often means to disconnect from everyone around us. I remember when the option for music was a radio, the option for TV was watching something live, and there was no option to having your own room. You shared it with a sibling or a college roommate. Now we just tune things out to focus on personal entertainment. The dramatic reduction in personal interaction has deprived us of the opportunity to interact with a larger variety of communication styles and to learn how to navigate those styles effectively. In the National Association of Colleges and Employers 2008 Job Outlook Survey of Employers, the most important skills identified by employers would be, you guessed it right, I'm sure, communication skills. This is ranked consistently in the top of the skills chart. On the flip side, as you would expect, employers in the survey indicated that communication skills also fell short in today's graduates. Writing skills were most often identified as lacking, although a third of employers also suggested that overall communication skills needed improvement. The lack of face-to-face interaction and preference for email, poor phone, presentation, and interview skills were also noted in the survey. So given the strong need to improve communication skills and our limited time today, I'm going to give you a few recommendations on how you can be a more effective communicator in the workplace. First, be aware and sensitive to cultural differences, gender differences, and overall personality differences. You may be familiar with the Myers-Briggs type indicator. This questionnaire divides personalities into 16 separate, distinct types. Most of you have probably heard of introverts and extroverts, two of the categories. Let's briefly talk about how these types affect communication in the workplace by using an example. Problem solving. Introverts typically like to reflect on how to solve a problem, while extroverts typically like to jump right in and fix it without thinking much in advance of how they're going to do it. You can see how these two approaches can result in conflict in the workplace. As a professional engineer, it is your job to be aware of the differences in approaches and to moderate an effective approach to solving the problem. Many organizations actually administer the Myers-Briggs to work groups so that they can better understand the different types of personalities that exist within the organization and in order to help them work effectively together. You may want to suggest that in your workplace. Point 2, listen effectively. How often are you in a conversation where you are chomping at the bit to get in and give your feedback? You're sitting in a classroom discussion and you have your hand raised the whole time just waiting to say what you have to say and get your 2 cents in. I was recently at a campus meeting with about 30 people and everyone was trying to get into the conversation. An individual next to me said, "I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to say anything." That person is my hero. Knowing when to get involved in a conversation, knowing what you have to say is relevant is all extremely important in the workplace. It's not about talking, it's about listening and contributing as needed. Number 3, think before speaking. You've heard this time and time again. Open your mouth, insert your foot. We don't need to spend much time on this point. I think we all realize that it's very important to craft a well-articulated sentence as opposed to just starting off talking. In engineering career services, when we work with students talking about interviewing, we often get the question from a student, if I'm not prepared for a question, how do I handle that? And we always indicate that it's best to take time, pause, think of a well-constructed answer, and then share that. It's better than just starting to talk when you're unprepared, and then you just go on and provide a lot of extraneous information. Number 4, respond, don't react. This is the best piece of professional advice I have ever received. In our office, we often joke about it, but it's truly an extremely valuable piece of wisdom. You will definitely receive emails or have personal interactions that leave you upset, confused, annoyed, frustrated, or angry. It's very important to smile, often bite your tongue, and walk away. I've sometimes taken a week to respond to an email. I've waited until the issue didn't bother me so much that I could objectively provide a response. You would want to do this too. Whenever an issue feels like a hot button topic or creates a significant amount of emotion, you definitely want to wait or do what you need to do. Go for a walk until you have calmed down and can respond rationally. You want to take the emotion out of the situation. Take that professional high road and respond with facts to the situation. I can't emphasize that enough. Respond, do not react to the situation. Step 5, or stage 5, be an optimist. Negatively can affect the workplace very dramatically. One person is negative, and they quickly can convert other people to the negative viewpoints. So it's very important to be a positive problem solver. Attitude is also very key in the workplace, and having a positive attitude is certainly appreciated by the colleagues that you're working with when you have challenges and struggles. The ones who are there offering suggestion, advice on how to get through things are the ones that are appreciated. It's better than just wallowing in the negativity and feeling that things are beyond your control. Step up to the plate, be an optimist, and look at how you can suggest solving the problem. Number 6. Email is a powerful tool. Use it wisely. It's very helpful in getting off quick messages to individuals and quick responses. It should not be used to avoid confrontation. If you're sending an email because you're afraid to say something to an individual, that should be an indicator right now that you need to sit down and reflect on what you want to say and go talk to that individual. Be prepared for what you want to say, but talk to them one-on-one, or if that's not a possibility, pick up the phone and communicate with them directly. Nuances cannot be picked up in the written communication that are picked up verbally, and so you risk having the email start flying back and forth and getting more and more hostile and damaging your reputation and your working relationship with colleagues or with vendors or other individuals that you're working with. So it's very important. It's great to use the email for those short, here are some facts you need to know. But if it all gets to be an emotional issue, you need to pick up the phone and deal with that person or walk over to their office or cube and talk to them directly. And then my last point is to watch out for water cooler conversations. I think we always have the desire to make a work group into a family group, and we tend to share too much information, and that certainly can lead to problems. These are not your friends, they are your colleagues. Certainly some people at a workplace may develop into friends as time goes on, but make sure you're very slow to develop trust and divulge personal information to people that you work with. Keep everything on a very professional level. Keep that communication professional. It's in your best interest in the long run to do that. Do not badmouth anybody that you work with to another colleague. If you have a problem with an individual, address that individual directly and resolve that problem. And sometimes that may be just to agree that you have different viewpoints. You're not going to be friends, but you are able to construct a workable work relationship. Okay? It's also important to keep in mind this rule of thumb, which is, don't get involved in gossip in the workplace, because remember that those who talk to you about others will talk to others about you. So if there is any gossip going on, it's best to walk away, or it's best to recommend, again, to follow the earlier guideline. If you have a problem with that person, go talk to them directly and resolve it. Or, get a supervisor involved or human resources involved. Try to get to the root of problems and resolve them, as opposed to letting them fester and then they start to kind of snowball in the communication styles that you have in your work group, and it can break down so that communication is really ineffective within that whole team. So in summary, your communication skills will continue to evolve and improve with time. The more experience you have, the more effective you will become. Get involved, learn, and reflect on your experiences, and continually strive to improve your skills. Good luck.